Hi again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and today is Saturday, April 26, 2014, and this is technical analysis of the stock market today, weekend edition. All right, so the Dow was down Friday at 140 points, got to close down below the 10 EMA. I'm still working this head and shoulders on the Dow. I'm going to be looking for this to come down if it breaks the low of Friday. And we'll see if we continue to get a move down to the downside or not. I'm looking for this thing to come. If it continues to break the low and come on down, it's going to test this and potentially break it. If it breaks it, we're going to get another chunk of a move to the downside. On a weekly basis, you can see that the weekly range was the most compressed since this week back here, February 21st. So really, it's like bookends. That's kind of interesting. I just happened to think of that as I'm talking about this. But literally bookends on this consolidation in here. And basically this is just a tight sideways move. And now we got compression. We'll see what we get in the next week or two. Okay, S&P 500 closed down below the 10 EMA, similar to the Dow. Not a whole lot more to say about this one. I mean, we'll be looking at trend line. It comes in like this. See if it breaks. See if it holds. The weekly, a little bit longer trend line, and again very compressed, just like the Dow in here. Kind of a doji type week. Closed almost exactly where it opened. The Nasdaq daily. Rounding over, again, pretty solid close down below the 10 EMA and continuing to have lower highs and lower lows. I am looking for this to at least come down and test in here. So it'll be interesting to see if it does that this coming week. The Nasdaq Weekly, again, we're getting closes below the 10-week moving average in here. This is circled because last week I talked about whenever we had 4 weeks below the blue line, we had a tendency to get a little bit more. And of course, we got one more week. We'll see if we get any more. And I think that's it. I want to take a look at the Russell 2000. That's very similar to the Nasdaq. It has continued to almost literally mirror the Nasdaq on the way down. Again, a very negative day on Friday and closed down way below the 10-day exponential moving average. And I think that's it. The short-term trading index inching up slightly on the 10-day moving average. No extreme reading on it yet. The VIX popped up a little bit, broke the high of the last 4 days, but really, we still got this 10 below the 21, below the 55 in here, and it's not really showing us anything dramatic except for the fact that, it moved up a little bit and the market was down. So that's not a surprise. All right, let's quickly take a look at some of the ETFs. I want to look at semiconductors. Thursday night, I talked about how the volume had dropped off on this thing as it rallied up in here and that this was a negative candle. And sure enough, we got the negative move on Friday. So I did not think this candle was bullish. I said so Thursday night. And then we got this nice big move to the downside on Friday. The home builders, where is the home builders? Probably right in front of me. I love when it highlights it and I'm looking everywhere else. Okay, it's continued to sell off in here. And I'm looking for it to break this trend line. If it breaks this trend line because it's so close to horizontal, we're going to get a fairly dramatic move out of it, I think. The XLF, that's the weekly financial here. Okay, this one is interesting because this arch, let me try to make this a little bit better for you. Okay, this arched up like this and it's kind of arching over. Well, the volume was just the opposite. So that meant the volume was dropping off as it was going up and inching higher, which was kind of negative. And now we got to close back below the 10 EMA. So I'm going to be looking for further fall through to the downside. And when you look at it on a weekly basis, we've got this long-term trend line, 2.5 years, that it broke back here in at the end of January, but it then continued to hug for several weeks up in here, hug this trend line. Okay, now it's pulled back away. 3 weeks ago was a pretty dramatic pull away, and so it'll be interesting to see. We got another trend line in here. Does this hold? To me, best case, we're going sideways. Worst case, we're gonna roll over. So that's it on the semiconductors. Let's go ahead and take a look at Apple. And of course, Apple had a huge day on Thursday, and kind of a doji day, but huge day, huge big gap in here. Up again on Friday, up 4 points for the day. I'm looking for it to take out this high to kind of confirm to me that we've got this true bullish move going in here. And I guess there's no guarantees on anything, even if it takes out the high. But to me, if it takes this high out, it's a little more bullish than what we're showing in here. One thing I want to look at in the on the weekly on Apple is Apple was up 48 points last week. Okay, where between the high and the low is 48 points. Same thing in this move over here. And this move had 101 million shares, almost 102 million shares. This move had 68 million. Okay, so not nearly the volume. And this, even with the greater volume, this petered out and kind of rolled over. So be looking for follow through, looking for this to break this high and get some follow through to truly have some type of a bullish move going on in here. Next one is Tesla. Tesla came down. This was the previous week. It had tested down here. We bounced up a little bit early this week, and then we rolled back over. We haven't gone to this trend line yet, but it looks like we're still on this downtrend. And I gotta say, that's what I'd be looking for, is for this to break the trend line, come down, and at least test the 233-day moving average. And I'm actually looking for it to get down into this, but it may take a while for it to get down this low. We'll have to see. And then the last thing I wanted to take a look at was Facebook today. Facebook's looking kind of negative to me. You know, we'd had 5 waves. This is the 5th wave up here. You can't hardly read it. Here's 4. This is the 5th wave. So I'm looking for a corrective action down at least into this 5th wave, down into this area down here. And now that we got this, even though we had a little bit of a bullish in here, this rolled over and closed down below the 10 EMA, looks negative to me. This looks like a little bit of a bear flag. And let's see if we can see it any better on the Facebook weekly chart. Whereas I thought I had it. Maybe I don't. No, I think I didn't pull that up. But anyway, that's going to be interesting to watch, because we've got this trend line right in here that if it breaks this trend line, there's a real good chance it's going to come down fairly quickly down in this range. So that's my view on Facebook. All right, I'll be back on Sunday afternoon to talk more about trade ideas. Everyone have a great weekend. This has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Tweet this, share it with your friends, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great weekend.